Oh my gosh, you guys, look. We've had one turkey hatch out so far. I don't know if you can see it or not, but this one right here is hatching. It's got a hole. Oh, and that one up there moved. Are you ready to go out? Okay. Oh my gosh, nothing gets me out of bed faster than to realize that I forgot to close the door on the chicken coop last night. Yesterday when I was doing chores, the wind was blowing like crazy and I did not get the gate latched very well. And so yesterday afternoon, all of the chicks over here in this red coop were out. So when I was swimming yesterday, I noticed they were out and I made a mental note to come out and shut the gate in the evening, but I forgot. And then this morning I woke up and then I'm like, oh my gosh. So I hobbled out of bed and half of them were out, half weren't. But it was pretty easy to get them all back in and shut the gate because they're kind of skittish, and luckily they all ran back in. So we have a lot of coyotes and hawks out here, and it would be just a complete disaster if they were out and something got them. So anyway, that crisis was averted. So several years ago when we had our rooster Neville that looks just like those two, we had a viewer that really liked him and said that she was the president of the Neville fan club. And so she wanted to name one of our roosters Nigel. And I just love that name. And so there's Nigel. And then we decided to name the other one Nick. And then where's she at? Oh, right there. Right, the white one right there behind the black one. She's our female Egyptian Fayoumi, and her name is Natalie. So we have Nigel, Nick, Natalie, and Nadine. And Nadine lives out with our other flock, and she actually does her own thing. She goes to the barn at night and sleeps where the goats are at, and then she gets up, she comes over and eats with the flock, but then she leaves and she just has her own routine. But anyway, I like to get her incorporated in with them sometime. So I already fed and watered them when I was out here earlier, and so now I'm going to go on and work in the garden a little bit while it's still cool out. Oh boy, sounds like we've got some drama going on in the chicken coop over there. But anyway, here are some of my zinnias, and then right here we have okra, and that right over there is rhubarb. And then we have a white sage plant right there, which is Brooks, and she had it in her garden, but her garden is a little too wet for it and doesn't get enough sunlight, so she moved it out here in hopes that it would grow better. We got some more of Miley's flowers, and then we have our onions. And then down here we have our broccoli, which it's starting to produce. I feel like I got it out a little late, and it's been really, really hot, so I am doubtful that I'm gonna get much from it because it's looking kind of sunburned already. Then over here I have my cabbage, and I love how it's turning out. It is looking so beautiful this year. Hello, Pika. I would like for it to grow bigger, but it is, like I said, really, really hot right now. So I'm really, really considering going ahead and harvesting it. Because I feel like if I wait much longer, then it's going to get sunburnt, which you can already see, like right there and over here, it already is. So I better harvest it while the getting is good. Over here are my tomatoes. I'm really excited. I feel like they're looking really good. I did get them out later than I normally do, so they are a little behind schedule from what the norm was, but still I think they're gonna be fine. So one of my goals for this year for my garden is to basically just get it to a point where it's in a more manageable state for future years. So this year I've been focusing on getting it all covered with ground cloth, and I went ahead and mulched it in certain areas. That way it kind of just keeps the weeds at bay, because over the last 2 years I've just let it go and I've had tons of weeds in here, and so it was the only way that I could find to get them under control. And then I've also been focusing on getting raised beds put in, and as you can see, I got one made this year early on in the spring, and I wanted to make 3 more, but then time kind of got away from me, and I figured that if I didn't go ahead and quit making those and start planting stuff, it would be too late to plant anything. So that's kind of where I've gotten for this year. Hopefully this summer I'm going to try to go ahead and get those boxes made and put in here and filled, and kind of get everything ready, so that way next year is all I have to do is plant my garden. Right here I have cucumbers in here, and then here is my zucchini. Then over here I have my peppers. I had to build this little thing. Those darn chickens over there kept getting in here and they wouldn't bother anything but my pepper patch, and I tore it up and I had to replant, and so I put that in there, and since then they've left it alone, and they've also pretty much left the rest of my garden alone too. I think there's just a certain few that get in here and do that, but hopefully I'm going to figure out which ones they are and get that taken care of. I need to weed this area, but I do have some basil planted and some peppers. These plants right here are all the ones that I started from seed, and so these peppers are a lot smaller and more behind than the other ones are, but I think they might catch up. But I just went ahead and planted them just to see what would happen. And then over here I added a compost. I'm having Miley dump all of her rabbit bedding in there because it makes excellent compost. And then right here is Miley's flower bed, and she is growing them to enter in the fair, and she just wanted to have a raised bed of her own, and it's looking really beautiful. And then over here is my sad, pathetic radishes. They didn't grow at all for some reason. They just grew tall, and then they didn't develop, and then it got hot, and so yeah, I'm gonna tear them out and probably go ahead and plant some green beans in there. And then over here is another one of my sad, pathetic beds. Got a couple of really good marigolds growing that Miley planted in here. I've tried to plant spinach and Swiss chard in there 2 different times, and it didn't come up either time. So what I'm going to do is probably plant this to green beans too. And then over here are my potatoes. I need to get them mulched. That's one of the things I'm working on right now. Once I get those dug, I'm going to also plant those all into green beans and hopefully have enough to can for the winter. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, that child of mine. She got me good with that one. Oh, the soil is pretty dry and hard. So I'm gonna add a little water to it and work it again before I put the beans in. Good morning.
Good morning.
You'll never guess what I found in the garden today.
Baby rabbits? Baby rabbits?
Nope. This.
Oh God. Oh God, that scared me. I was like, but then I didn't think it would actually happen.
Yeah, it scared the beep out of me because I found it in the radish patch when I was pulling out all the radishes.
I was kind of wondering how long it would take me to find it. And I think it kind of even scared me once because I forgot it was there.
Yeah. So while I'm working in the garden and doing the chores, Dylan is gathering up a bunch of junk and doing a little cleanup around here, and we're gonna haul it into the dump here soon.
I think we're actually gonna be past minimum charge at the dump this time.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to haul off. We've been accumulating over the winter. We haven't hauled anything off lately, so It'll be nice to get all that out of here and have an empty trailer to fill up again.
Yay.
Well, we got everything hauled to the dump and got back and ate lunch, and Brooke is out with a friend right now, and Miley is with her dad. So while they're off doing that, Dylan and I thought it would be a good opportunity to try to get my wall finished. I can pretty much do it all. It's just that when we put the electrical outlets in, we were thinking of a different type of wall covering, and so we put them all in too far in, and we need to bring them out just a little bit so that way the wall covering will fit good. And so that's what Dylan is helping me do real quick, and then I'm going to get busy on my wall.
Good
Looks
enough.
good. Basically all I do is take the board and stick it up here. First I figure out which side I like better, and I'm thinking I like this side a little better, maybe. Yeah, we'll just go with this side. So I just stick it up there like that. And then I just take a pencil and I just mark it right where I want to cut it. And sometimes if I don't like the way it fits one way, I might turn it and try to fit it the other way and see if it looks better. I actually like that better. So, none of these boards are 100% straight, so you just kind of have to fit them together like puzzle pieces. The bit I have on there isn't quite the right size for these screws, which also is causing me a little bit of problems. I'm about out of the box of screws, so then when I go get more, I'll get the right bit comes with it. I'm just using what I have for now because I can't find the other bit, so that's what the problem is. Probably the most frustrating part of this whole thing is I keep dropping the screws all the time, and then the second most frustrating thing is the bit not quite fitting right, and it's hard to screw them in sometimes. The most difficult thing for me is cutting out the holes for the electrical boxes. As you can see, I did not do a very pretty job on that. I used this tool right here to cut it, and it's heavy and I don't quite have the muscle strength to hold it steady and cut straight, so it is a little difficult, but I just do the best I can. It's not that big of a deal to me because I can probably cover it with a plate cover. That one I'm questioning whether the plate cover will actually cover it all, but I'm not too concerned because that's going to be right behind the microwave on the shelf where nobody's going to see it anyway. And Dylan was just telling me too that you can buy extra large plate covers to cover stuff like that, so I might look for those. So while I've been in there putting my wall covering on, Dylan has been over here working on his screen door for his porch. Are you having problems?
Oh, minor difficulties.
Anyway, it's looking really good. He added a new latch. I absolutely love his porch. It is so peaceful. It's even cool in here.
Coolish.
Yeah. It's cooler than my porch feels right now. Here soon we will do a tour of Dylan's house.
I just need to do some spiffing.
Yeah, he needs to spiffy a little bit. I don't really think it's that bad in there, but...
It's horrible.
Well, I managed to get this far on my wall. I think it looks really nice, and I'm so excited. I'm calling it quits for just a little while because I'm going to run to town and do some things tonight. Well, we got 4 turkeys hatched. Aren't they just so cute? Yeah, hi, hello. And we've got 2 or 3 more on their way.